People love Docker. Looking at the recent yearly Stack Overflow survey, Docker has been consistently elected one of the most loved technologies by developers. Today, Docker is taking on the world and is becoming more and more the default tool used by engineers to quickly build, test, and deploy apps. When asked why you're using Docker, answers from developers have some recurring keywords like isolation, resource control, ecosystem, and lightweight. So in today's video, we will cover 3 key elements that explain the rise and success of Docker. Hi, my name is Kevin. I make video on tech behind products and software engineering, so like the video and subscribe for more. Docker is built on the concept of container, which are executable units of software in which application code is packaged. This is made possible by isolation and virtualization capabilities built into the Linux kernel. These capabilities are leveraged to both isolate processes and control the amount of CPU, memory, and disk that those processes have access to. Even though the concept of container emerged in 1979 during the development of Unix v7, the first modern Linux container manager, LXC, was created in 2008. Then 5 years later, Docker emerged and container exploded in popularity. At first, the Docker team used LXC as container manager, but then switched to their library runC. Despite that, the main advantage of Docker is the offering of an entire ecosystem for container management. The need for Docker came hand to hand with the growing in popularity of containers. Looking back, the only alternative to container was using virtual machine, which also create a virtualized system that gets its own set of resources allocated to it and does minimal sharing. With a VM, you get more isolation, but the drawback is the heavy use of resources, because unlike container, there is no sharing of operating system. Against other alternatives like LXC, Docker offers many more features like portable deployment across machine, automatic build, versioning that include git-like capabilities of tracking version, a hub for sharing images ready to use, and multiple useful containers maintained by the Docker team itself. All those features make Docker the best tool for most people. Docker has a very developer-friendly structure and it's very easy to get started. The main 3 components of Docker are Dockerfile, image, and container. The Dockerfile is just a set of instructions providing the step of building an image. In the following example, I use a simple Dockerfile to create an image for a meal picker app I built with Svelte. In the Dockerfile, we have the instruction from to specify the base image that will be used, run to install some dependency, cmd to run specific command when the container starts, and expose to make the container listen on a specific network port at runtime. The image is an immutable snapshot of the app with all the dependency that can be used to create one or multiple containers. The container is your actual app running in a closed environment and can be deployed everywhere. The usual Docker workflow starts with building your app, then using a Docker file or an alternative to create an image. Your image can be pushed to the Docker Hub, which is a shared repository of images. With your image on Docker Hub, you can pull the image from anywhere and start running your container. In terms of development experience, you don't have to write your code inside the containers, so you can add Docker to any ongoing or completed project you have. Docker by itself is already useful, but what makes it even more popular is the large ecosystem of tools built around it to ease the creation of clustered container environment. You have scheduler like Kubernetes used to manage container group, networking tools like Flannel, and overlay networking providing each host with a separate subnet, and service and discovery tools like Zookeeper, a global distributed key value store. Docker is a tool that changed the way we deploy software and is one of my favorite technologies to use. Let me know in the comment what you think of Docker and write down if you have any suggestion on the tech you want me to cover. Thank you all for watching, like and subscribe for more videos like this.